Welcome back to Ian's basement of wallet torture. Okay, well, it's 4th of July weekend here in the United States. I know some of my viewers, you're out in the UK. I got some people in New Zealand, Australia. I got people all over the place. What was I doing? Oh, I'm going to do something cool this video. Thanks. First thing, thank you, Jeff in New Zealand. You're a freaking legend. I'm going to do your mod, and everyone will know about it. Well, everyone that watches this video. Anyway, 4th of July. Weekend crack. There we go. Last night, fireworks scene. Check. Crappy barbecued cheeseburgers. Check. Mediocre barbecued hot dogs. Check. Some legend made jalapeno poppers with cream cheese and pulled pork wrapped in bacon. Wouldn't think I'd like. Oh my god, they were the best thing in the world. Other best thing in the world, Tamiya model tanks. Who doesn't love them? Paint, we're going to start some detail stuff, okay? So we got these little straps on these storage boxes. And I wanted to just differentiate them just enough so you'd know, like, there's some sort of leather canvasy material and there's a metal buckle. So just very, very subtle effects of, like, a worn canvasy buckle and you know, I mean, a strap in the metal there. And then we are going to obviously use, you know, our washes and our panel liners over that. But to get the effect on the straps, I didn't even use paint. I use these AK. We can zoom out now a little. Go on, Ian. Your cinematography skills. Still lacking. Still. Okay. So to paint the straps, we used some light chipping for wood, dark chipping for wood. And then for the buckles, we used dark aluminum pencil. And you just rub them on. And then what I did off camera, as every good cooking show does, is we hit it with a little more flat clear. I air dried it, and that locked in those pigments, because this is basically pigment powder in solid pen form. So it's very similar, you know, to your pigments, but it's just a pencil, and you have to sharpen your pencil every now and then, and that's another code term for something we do by ourselves. Sharpening our pencils. We don't do that on. We never will sharpen our pencil on camera on this channel. Just so you're aware, it's not a kid-friendly channel, but we'll never sharpen a pencil on there. Either way. We're not going to do a hell of a lot to the tank today, except for potentially one mod. But what we are going to do is get our value gear stowage painted. Because you know, well, I'm not laying it out how I'll have it laid out, but, you know, they start off as just gray resin castings. You get a huge bag of these things for, like, not a hell of a lot of $22.49. Like, not a hell of a lot of money, and you get a lot of them. I mean, you could hook up 3-4 tanks easy with this one bag of value gear stuff. So it is a value of gear. There we go. Your brand name is spot on, guys. You figured it out. We're like, how do we get across that we're selling gear and we're a good value? Well, let's just call the place Value Gear. I mean, not very creative, but sometimes the simplest thing. So we've got a NATO black on these, and we did a little white highlight there. And we're going to go through the minutia, so to speak, of getting these guys painted up. And I always look to other more, you know, experienced YouTubers and model builders online. I watch their videos, and I'm like, I don't have that kind of patience or time. I just watched the tutorial. It was amazing. I'm going to try to do like a shortcut, half-baked Ian version of it, and it should come out pretty good. So we'll be back with some progress on the stowage. There we go. Stowage. I know it's not exciting. I'm sorry. It's got to be done. This is the bitch work, is painting stowage. The tank is the all-star, and the stowage is like, it makes the model at the end, though. Nicely done stowage, good weathering. It just makes it magnifique. It's like the black truffle oil on top of that already delicious dinner. We'll be back with our black truffle oil. Okay, hang on, hold your breath. Okay, a little bit of airbrushing later. We used XF60 dark yellow for our ammo crates, and we had the, you know, shadow and highlight coat. We didn't go over them too heavy. We're going to add a lot more crap on top of this. This is just the initial coat. We did our little roll-up doohickeys, and then I used the same AK weathering pencils for the straps and buckles. Okay, just to give, you know, just give a hint that that's a strap and a buckle. Just just enough. And it's the same color as the straps we did for the storage bins on the side of the turret. There you go. Okay. This is still a little sticky. This is Field Gray XF65. I think someone at Tamiya is colorblind, because this is clearly green. Dave Chappelle voice. Very clearly green. It's green. Whatever. It's Field Gray. We have some XF57 buff out here. We have some Vallejo Model Air wood. I didn't really use that for anything. We have our Desert Dust. We got some panel liner shaken up off screen. We have our deep brown. That's a little rusty. I shouldn't be using that. But we're gonna use some black and some brown and some dark brown. We're gonna use that mostly for the wood. These guys are not gonna get a whole lot of panel liner. These are pretty much done. I think I'm just gonna give them a desert wash and just maybe a misting of buff. Everything's gonna get a misting of buff at the end, just for that extra deserty, just a little kiss of sand. But yeah, we'll be right back, and yeah, our placeholder, you know, mantlet cover. We'll just use it. If you remember our last attempt at covering this in a napkin, it did not end well for me. I gotta do something. I don't know. I'm corresponding with one of my mates in New Zealand, Jeff, who I mentioned at the beginning of the video. He did something pretty cool, but that's all him. I'm not gonna duplicate him. I don't want to copycat. I want to try something on my own. I've never done it before. But either way, we'll be back with some more steps and procedures here. BRB. My 4th of July playlist on Spotify is very eclectic. That's it. So, yeah, you saw our gray plain stowage before. Here's the finished product. Ooh, look at that. It looks quite nice. Let's dismount our stowage. Okay. And we're going to explain what we did here, because I don't do a lot of, like, on-camera detail work. It's just, you're not going to get really good footage, and I'm just going to screw everything up because I'm recording. But basically, we start with this NATO black, cover the whole thing, white highlight coat, mostly for the boxes. The bags, it doesn't make that much of a difference for the rolled tarps. And then, for the boxes, we painted them with the dark yellow. Okay, and then we cleared it, and then we used some white spirit, and we thinned out some black and brown panel liner, and we stappled and blotted and all that, and we get this. It's a pretty decent final product. That wasn't all, though. We actually took some buff with a fine paintbrush, and we did a little dry brushing. Little corners and edges, little dry brush to bring a little highlight to it also. And that's it for the boxes. So it's literally the dark yellow, and then a clear coat, and then some thinned down black and brown panel liner, brown first, heavier, actually full strength brown, and then black, and we just slabbed it on there with some thinner. So that's that. And then for these guys, we did the Field Gray, the green. Field Gray, and then we did a Vallejo Desert Dust wash, thin down, like, I'd say 70% thinner, 30% of this. Really slathered it on there, put on a bunch of the pigment powder, the Desert Dust, let it dry, and then very vigorously brush it off. Not just brushing it off. Brushes and things are not your only tools. So are your fingers. If you rub it with your fingers, so here's a little spot. So you rub a little more off. You don't want it super duper dusty. So you can just rub it. Rub that pigment off. We haven't flat cleared anything for the final time yet, so we can still, and it really makes it look realistic. Just that little rubbing of the pigment. There you go. It mellows out the pigment powder more so than any of your wife's Sonicare toothbrushes can do to get excess pigment off. So there we go. There's our stowage, all done to my level of quality. Varies with people. Here's another one we did. We painted this temporary thing, and again we did the dark yellow, and then I washed it completely with thinned down black Tamiya panel liner, and then when that dried, I went over it with some desert dust wash thinned down with some more pigment powder. And again, fingers are your friends here. That's what she said. Well, that's what you told her on the first date. But either way, and you rub off as much of that powder as you can. I mean, go crazy. Really manipulate the rubber. And you just want just enough. You don't want it to be overboard. But when it's on the tank, I mean, as ugly as this giant gaping maw is for the barrel, it'll look a little bit more correct. So yeah, there we go. That's that. Look at that. We did that stowage. Now we've just got 500 other pieces of stowage to do. A little water jug for the back of the turret. I did not do anything to this yet. I'm just going to slap this on the turret. I'm just going to glue it on, and it'll get weathered with the rest of the tank. That one's like that. Got some little bits and pieces. We got more work to do. But yeah, there we go. That's my little... It's not a full-on tutorial. I also dry brushed the buff onto the ropes to give them some definition. Yeah. You know, so yeah, and I went a little heavy with the black panel liner and some. It doesn't matter. They're all going to be bunched up on the engine deck. You're really not going to see the sides of them too much. It's more the top down effect we're going for here. We can zoom. Well, I'm manipulating the camera. Sorry, guys. There we go. That's as far as she goes. I think I might need an even better camera. My wife got me this really good Sony camera, XV100 or something. It's just, I don't know, it doesn't go wide enough ever, and it doesn't zoom in enough ever. I'm kind of wanting on both sides. And I do have the wide angle 25mm macro add-on lens on this camera. It's still not enough for me. I'm never satisfied. Sort of like, you know, I don't know, what are the potato chips? Can't have just one, but you also can't have 500,000 of them, because your doctor might have something to say about that. We're going to do something. I don't know what's getting... is it tired? We may continue this build. It is, you know, 4th of July weekend, and we're only on Saturday here. Last night we saw some fireworks, and like I said, ate some crappy barbecue food. It was good, but, you know, it's never like you don't get it right off the grill. It's like they put it on the platter, put it on the dining table, then they have to put the buns out and all the things and the condiment. By the time you get to that burger, yeah, she don't taste fresh no more. As good as they could be. Yeah. Yeah. Back to machine guns and ammo and fire extinguishers and exhaust tips and shovels and pickaxes and all that other shit. But we'll be back with some more stuff. I'm going to shut the hell up now. Well, we're back, and somebody asked me, who's also built this tank recently, he said, is your turret moving really fast in rotation? I'm like, I don't know. I'll go check it. He said, yeah, mine seems too fast. Maybe I didn't, you know, program the radio settings correctly. And I said, I'll go check. And it is proportional. There's like a low and a high the more you move the stick, but there's low, and there's high. It seems just a tad fast. We'll be right back. Alright, I'm calling a mulligan on this one. I mentioned the whole slowing down the turret thing. So, my buddy Jeff over there in the New Zealand, yeah, 20 ohm, half watt. That's what he used on the negative lead. So you just, you know, cut the negative lead on the cable that comes from the DMD going to the rotation motor. I just don't happen to have the correct resistance, resistor. So it's on order from Amazon. Unfortunately, it'll be here Tuesday after the holiday weekend is over. I'm just going to temporarily just tie that back together, and we're just going to kind of, there we go. We're just going to leave her alone for now until we get our resistor on Tuesday, but I will show you it working, and you'll have to just look at both videos and see which one's faster. But it is slower. It is notably slow. Noticeably. And what the hell's going on with my mouth this morning? Nothing's working right. But either way, we got our extra stowage there done. Now we got to do the regular stowage. And we do have the M1919 4.2 mount on top of the tank, so we'll get this painted up. We've got some bits of, we got a couple bits here. We got to paint tank color to hold the spare track links on the front. And then the rest of this is all just stowage to paint. So we'll be back. Okay, this is a weird one. For the first time in a long time, I'm not using some sort of, real metal cable kit for the tow cables. I said, screw it, I'm going to try out the painted string. Because Tamiya, they love giving you string to paint to make tow rope. So they said to paint the string. Sorry, there we go. XF56, metallic gray, the go-to for everything Tamiya these days, it seems. This is an old, nasty jar, really old. So to paint the string, really, come on. Framing, Ian, framing. There we go. To paint the string, you open up your paint bucket, and I already have this drying right here. I don't know if you can see it. Let me put something white behind it for something we call contrast in the camera world. There we go. You soak the string in here, just get it all good and saturated, shake it up. Then you take a clippy stick, grab a clippy stick. Well, after you pull the mess of bundled crap out of the paint jar, pull that out, kind of get the string sort of untangled. Put one end in a clippy stick. I have it draped across this 42-inch wide work surface on top of my toolbox. Put a clippy stick on each end of the string. Drop one clippy stick over one side, drop the other clippy stick over the other. Actually, when you have the first clippy stick, grab a piece of paper towel and drag the entire string like this. Just drag it through the paper towel. That'll take off the excess paint. And then you put a clippy stick on each end, drape it across a work surface, let it dry straight. This way, it's not a bundle, it's not, it comes out of the paint jar all wrinkled and twisted and gnarly. This is going to be our best chance, I think, at getting fairly, good-looking, compliant tow ropes made out of damn, craft string that Tamiya gave us. But, they've been doing it for years, so I'm trying it. Why not? But you don't have to go out and buy expensive metal tow cable sets from aftermarket companies or eBay or whatever. Just I mean, honestly, I've had this can, this jar of metallic gray, since I've started building tanks. So, I mean, basically, I've had this jar for 10 years. Because you use so little of it. You're only painting accessories normally. And it's just nasty. It's gross. So I'm like, screw it, whatever. We'll put the string in it. If I completely knack the paint, I have spare jars. That's it for now, though. How to paint your string tow ropes. BRB with more stowage. We're back. The wife has left to go shopping for 4th of July entertaining supplies. So, mostly booze, I guess. Booze and appetizer crackers. So we got our 1919 painted. I don't know if it's showing up great on camera, but I see it. That is Tamiya metallic gray. And the other one, this is Mr. Hobby Aqueous burnt iron. I love this color. It's just a little darker because the machine gun isn't made out of the same thing as a muffler. Well, it kind of is, yeah. Okay, whatever. But I like the burnt iron. Now, in my quest to make everyone think I'm completely out of my mind, they give you these itty-bitty, tiny, itty-bitty hex bolts for to bolt the skirts on the sides of the tank. And they're stainless steel, non-magnetic, and they're just shiny metal. And, yeah, we didn't paint the tank with the side skirts on. So what I did is I soaked all of these in the Permablue from Birchwood Casey. There's other brands of that. You don't have to use that exact one. Get whatever's available in your locality. But they're soaked in that, so we're going to paint these with the IDF paint color that we mixed up. And then when we're installing them, Tamiya gives us this little plastic, tiny little frickin' spanner, wrench, or whatever you want to call it. I have precision little drivers, and I don't have anything that small. So when we do screw them on, if any paint does chip off of them, well then we've got chipping underneath already done. And there's the tow cable leads and the ammo box and the mount for the machine gun, and well, we'll be back. Oh, finally, stowage painted, little things and bobbers. We got our little strip of bullets, Vallejo copper and bronze paint. I like it a lot. I don't like airbrushing. I hate airbrushing with Vallejo. No matter what I do, no matter what formula, it's just cursed in this basement. Plus, I have a .2 nozzle on my Tamiya, and Vallejo just instantly gums it up. Your mileage may vary. Now, the tow ropes, we were concerned. We weren't. You weren't. I didn't hear any concerns. They came out looking just fine. Soaking them in paint and then stretching them out to dry. Look at that. Nice. Nice and straight. It's malleable. You know, you could bend it a little bit. And when you soak it in the paint like that, and you cut it afterwards, the individual threads in the string do not come apart. So you end up with a nice set of tow cables. These honestly look pretty damn decent. Those came out fine. We've got some of our other little bits, you know, with some hand brushing of stuff here and there. Those are done. Oh, as my wife says when we're decorating, little pop of color. So the fire extinguishers, in British service, they, as far as I've seen in the photos, they were red. So I'm going to leave them red. Maybe we just were like, the Israelis were like, nah, we're not going to repaint the fire extinguishers. Our M1919 pintle is tank color. The handle's still drying. That's red-brown from Tamiya, and the dark iron from Mr. Hobby. Where are we? You already saw the exhaust before. We got the tow cables. So for clearing, I want to clear all these little bits before I glue them on, because why the hell not? I don't want to spray the whole tank with clear again. So if you get this stuff, this is the Mr. Color. They have their flat clears. They have a few different varieties of clears. This is the UV cut, so this is like UV protection. It's really only a thing for like white plastic models and stuff that you don't want to yellow in the sun. Or fade, for that matter, actually, either. But get you maybe some of this, throw it in your airbrush, and that way we can just precisely just clear coat just the little bits and bobs here. We're going to do that after I eat a sandwich. And it is now 3:14 p.m. Hopefully I can come back down here and clear coat. Sandwich time. Wife just got home from the supermarket. Be right back, everybody. Look at this! She's all together. Oh, I got one bolt holding the side skirt on, just so we can see how it looks all put together. We've got our MG mounted. We got our antennas there, our little fire extinguishers. Nice little pop of color. Our little tools and our tow cables. That stuff's not glued down yet. Got our front track. I am pretty damn happy with this. This is one of my most favorite tanks I've ever built. It was fun to build. It went together like straightforward, no gotchas really, and yeah, I love it. Okay, so I don't love this. I really don't. I mean, I did what I could to make it look like less shitty. I don't really like it. I'd rather go with a naked mantlet than put this damn thing on there. One of my buddies, the guy in New Zealand, he did a cool thing with some like camo netting type stuff. Not sure which variant of Centurion he's building exactly. But either way, the next episode will be the weathering. We got to do some cool rusty stuff on the exhaust and just generally make this thing look like it's been running around in the desert. So lots of lots of desert dust wash and some desert pigment, things like that. Some chipping, some grease stains, some grime, some rust, you know, the usual suspects of weathering. But yeah, that's it. Okay, so I'm signing out. Time to start celebrating Independence Day. Well, it's a day early. It's tomorrow. But we'll wake up with a hangover for Independence Day at this rate. May not wake up at all one of these days. So, there we go. And that's that. I hope everyone's enjoying the build. I'm enjoying the build. I love playing with we love the little spring-loaded antennas. So yeah, that's cool. Yeah, this I gotta put a little something to keep it from being so floppy. But yeah, it came out looking halfway decent, like not a total afterthought. You know, it works well. And you can still open the can we still open the hatch? Oh geez. Not on camera. See you next time, everybody.